Hey, yo, what is going on, everybody? Welcome to Mama's Legacy Podcast. I'm joined here with Jay. What's up, Jay? Thank you, Jay. Great as always. And our new guest, Adam. What's going on, Adam? How you doing?
Hey, JMX, thank you so much for having me, guys. I really appreciate it. Really excited to be on here.
We're more appreciative that you take the time to come on ours, and it's amazing to have somebody like you, the caliber of stuff you and content you put out there, have you on. If you guys haven't followed him on Instagram already, follow him Basket Wrap. But let's jump right into it. First things first, we're a little bit behind, but Game 7, the Hawks upset the Sixers, and Ben Simmons drops 5 points, so we didn't get those videos on the timeline. Y'all will understand if you know. Uh, Sorry about that. but what do you take away from the 76ers team? What do they need to do this offseason to come back and be contenders for a championship? Adam, we'll go with you first.
Yeah, so I mean, wow, this was honestly, I was shocked that they lost this series. I think I picked the Sixers in five. Just looking up and down their roster, I think they're clearly a more talented team, but I hate to put I don't want to put all the blame on one guy. I think that's kind of unfair, but I do think they need to address the Ben Simmons, Joel Embiid kind of situation, I guess I'll call it. It's been talked about for like I feel like at least a couple years now. Like these guys struggle to play together, and they're both great players. But when you have like a big time center that does so well down low, and that's really his game. And you're putting another guy who can't really shoot and can't really perform, can't really play make in the half court. It's really putting a lot of stress. It's putting too much stress on Embiid. So I think that they need to address that probably via a trade. So there have been like a number of trades that have kind of potential trades that I've seen. I would kind of boil it down to like two types of trades that might make sense. So the first one would be like a team like I don't know, like OKC or like the Magic, where he's going to go to a place where he doesn't really have to win right away and can kind of just work on his game. Can also have a team that's kind of more his own and not Joel's. I think that would be really good for him. Another possibility, and I think he should do regardless, is just get some sort of like mentor, some sort of veteran player that's been there before, because clearly this dude is having some problems. Like he's having some mental blocks. Like, I mean, we saw it in game seven specifically, where he wasn't even looking to like attack or drive or do anything besides pass the ball. So yeah, I mean, I think that's a great place to start if you're the Sixers. I think he has some at least solid trade value still. I know people are like clowning on him um just because of the series he's had, but honestly, I think there's a lot to like with him still. I mean, he's still an elite defender. He's still young. So I do think that would be a good move for both parties and would be a great place kind of for them to start just sort of changing the culture a little bit.
Yeah, I definitely agree. And a couple notes. I saw that Greg Popovich is willing to trade anybody on that Spurs roster for Ben Simmons. But my problem is with Ben Simmons is his attitude. We saw the Game 7 post conference when asked about his performance and them getting eliminated. His response was, "So what? The Nets also got beat," which is a terrible response to have, especially when you have a solid team that should have won the series and you're just saying, "So what? The Nets lost too." It's absolutely disgusting when you play so bad and then you're just going to say, "So what? Give up on your team." I think Joel is upset at him. I don't think Joel's going to come back and want to play with him. I think Ben Simmons is easily going to go. When your own coach is telling him, "I'm not sure if he can be a point guard on a championship team," there's definitely a problem there. Now, I do believe that Ben Simmons has solid trade value due to the fact that he is a prospect. He's a he's something that hopefully a certain coach can mold into a solid player all around. But uh, he's not there right now. He's an amazing defender. He's a tall point guard. He can pass the ball decently well, but his attitude is in the wrong place, and his offense is just eh. He can't shoot.
Disgusting. It's
It's
disgusting.
it is disgusting. I didn't want to get too personal with it, but it is disgusting. He struggles on offense a ton, and it's really disappointing watching him play the offense when that 76er team has so much talent. Just for the fact that Joel Embiid is right there. When you take into account that Seth Curry was the second option this entire series, that's very disappointing. Uh, Seth Curry was holding it down. That's how they took it to a game 7. But Ben Simmons needs to go to a new environment. He needs to change his attitude about this game, and he needs to actually put some work forward. And I will note one video that did not end well for him that has been brought back up is when Cat said he's playing the Hawks and Ben Simmons, you got time to play all night. I found that hilarious. But Jay, what do you think the 76ers need to do to be back competing for a championship next year?
Well, to start off, they need so Ben Simmons is like he is a crucial part of the Sixers team when it comes to like his passing. It's the scoring that needs work. So I'd say one of the most heavy names I've heard, well, maybe not heaviest. Everyone wants like Lillard or CJ to go to Sixers. I think that there's a possibility for Simmons to get traded to either the Pacers, or the Raptors, even in my opinion, at least. Um, Getting either Lowry or Malcolm Brogdon, uh, those types of players that can create their own shot, be efficient, aren't scared of the moment, etc. That's something that's very valuable to that Sixers team because, well, frankly, they're not that amazing in clutch situations. Obviously, there's some standout guys. There's Joel. Uh, Seth Curry hit some big time shots, but in general, they don't have as many closers as they do like natural scores, if that makes any sense.
That makes a ton of sense. The 76ers team's in my opinion, I think they're in a great position, but they still need a bit of work to be done on this roster.
One of my favorite things, so I think Malcolm Brogdon really would fit the Sixers. I don't know if I'm crazy for thinking that, but 50, 40, 90 guy. He's slightly a veteran. I think he's around 29. I could be wrong. 27, 29. And he's just a very efficient scorer when it comes all around. Plus, he has playoff experience against when he was with the Bucks.
I think he's he's a lot like Ben Simmons in my opinion. Minus he's not as good defense, but he's better offensively, if that makes sense.
Fair
Yeah,
enough.
Brogdon's a really good shooter. He's a solid playmaker. I don't think he's like you can't just trade Brogdon straight up for Simmons though. But I do think if you
Obviously,
could package that, yeah, it could be that could be intriguing. Another guy that like I think is kind of I don't want to say getting off the hook, but like should be talked about a little more is Tobias Harris. Because Tobias Harris, like low key, is making max money. And
Mhm.
he's just not like he's fine, but he's still kind of like he's not enough of a difference maker for them consistently because they got him to be like a scorer and to be like an offensive threat. So I don't know if they could trade him because his contract is just so big, but that's something that I think they're going to need to figure out kind of how to work him in as well.
well, in the name of the Mamba himself, Tobias Harris decided that he wanted to honor Kobe by shooting 8 of 24. So, yeah, it does make sense.
Tobias Harris, though, it is crazy. He started off the season playing at an MVP caliber level.
I
He
would say
did.
MVP, All
Well,
Star,
yeah, not
yes.
MVP. He
Okay,
was
not
really good
MVP,
though.
but he was playing out of his mind. Like he was playing like worth his money.
And
He
and
was.
I loved his motive. It's the motive that he had where if I'm not an all-star, I'll be an all-star for Philly. And
Mhm.
whenever he like, scored or he hit like clutch baskets in the regular season, he'll be like all-star. And I just love that about him. And I don't know where that was in the playoffs.
I don't know.
Well,
That's the problem, man.
this whole
I
team
don't.
fell apart. This whole team fell apart in the playoffs. It
Yeah.
was really hard to watch. But if let's just jump right into the second topic. Game two, I think we all saw the ending to that. Suns Clippers. DeAndre Ayton, what a dunk. 0.9 seconds left on the clock. Are the Clippers done for? Jay, we'll start with you.
Depends if Kawhi gets back because that man he has a fetish for O2 lead or leads another team. So I think that the Clippers still have a chance. I don't want them to, but I think they still have a chance if Kawhi gets back soon enough. Paul George, he's still a phenomenal player. Everyone's like very toxic towards him for not hitting the free throws, but forgetting to mention that he hit a lot of fourth quarter shots, and he also just, I mean, he balled out this entire time. Other than that free throw moment, he has been proving that he is not pandemic P anymore. He actually got the vaccine.
Well, I'm going to be perfectly honest. I know you may disagree. He played like pandemic P last night. He's an 85% free throw shooter and bricked the last two. That is something you can't do if you're going to be the guy to win a series for this team. That was terrible, and it looked like the pressure got to him once again. He turned back to his old self. And the fact that they were in the game at that point was really surprising because Devin Booker was playing terrible, but we need to throw credit to somebody else. Cameron Payne had 29 points,
Campaign.
Payne, baby.
eight and eight, and had 0 turnovers. Adam, what do you think of Cameron Payne? How has he been tearing up this postseason, and where do you think he's going to end up after this year?
Okay, so let me just tell you. So for those of you guys who don't know, I'm a big Bulls fan. So I've had a front row seat to the campaign experience. And so the Bulls got campaign in like, I want to say it was 16, 17 range, right when we started rebuilding. And this dude was bad. Like we had like people in the Bulls kind of community nicknamed him the Tank Commander because if he wanted to lose a game, you would just put him in and he would be the Tank Commander. And man, we waived him. He's bounced around. I think he went to the Raptors and got waived. He went overseas and he's come back and found a home in Phoenix. And honestly, I have nothing but respect for Campaign, the job he's done. He's completely turned around his career. The one thing I think that served him well, and we were talking before the podcast a little bit about this, was just his energy throughout the game is incredible. He is not scared of the moment, even for kind of being a newer guy in a situation like this. I have a lot of respect for Campaign. As far as where, Campaign goes from here, I'm not sure exactly on his contract situation. You guys can jump in if you know, but he should get some money, in my opinion. I think he's played well enough to where he at least deserves a good look and as like a second kind of guard for you, maybe a third guard off the bench. But I'm super impressed with Campaign. I don't know if it was like some Chris Paul voodoo magic. I don't know what happened, but man, the dude is killing it. And I never thought I would say it's crazy. If you had told me like 2 years ago we would be talking about Campaign balling out in the Western Conference Finals, I would have been like, you're out of your mind. There's absolutely no way. But dude is great. I have nothing but respect for Campaign.
Definitely, Campaign has earned the respect of this league, and he's put his face on the map lately. Chris Paul out with COVID, and Cameron Payne, he's the reason they won last night, 100%. And I still can't wrap my mind around how well he's playing. It may be the Chris Paul effect. He might have learned from one of the greatest point guards in NBA history. That may be a reason why he's playing better. But he has just done an outstanding job, and he continues to blow my mind with every game. But the bigger thing about that game was that dunk at the last second, instant reaction. What was your first reaction seeing Ayton get the dunk in with the time remaining on the clock? Adam, we'll go with you. What was your instant reaction?
Well, my instant reaction, I was like, this whole game was absolutely insane. Like, I feel like 5 things happened in this game where I just couldn't believe any of this had happened. But I was really happy for them, man. I was really happy for DeAndre Ayton, who I think has gotten, at least before the playoffs started, a lot of kind of undeserved criticism. Because I think DeAndre Ayton's great. I think he's a really nice young player and, has a lot of room to grow even from this. But man, I freaked out. Like, you guys did you guys see the Michael Wilbon, Stephen A. Smith reaction where they're just
Oh,
like
just jaws
stone
dropped.
face, like they're just transported to another dimension, like they have no idea what's going on. It was a great moment. I mean, it's what definitely one of the most exciting moments of this playoffs. And yeah, dude, I was pumped. I was pumped.
Uh, I had the same reaction as they did. I couldn't believe it. The fact I knew that was probably what they were going to go for, but I did not think they'd pull it off. Jay, real quick, what was your instant reaction to Aiton getting that ball in?
He was the number one pick. And I remember that since he was in the same draft class as Luke and Trae Young, he was automatically called a bust. Everyone kind of like thought, he was a bust because, well, he barely played and he never really got an opportunity. And they were like, oh, well, Luka Devin backcourt. In this, like throughout the entire playoffs, whether it was locking up a Disney, whether it was just like not stopping, it's Jokic, but like, kind of preventing Jokic from doing things that he did to Rudy Gobert through the season. And just like being reliable as a lob threat and a rebounder, he's been phenomenal. Like he's playing like Clint Capella did in the regular season almost every single game. And it's just great to see because he has so much like, undeserved criticism, as Adam said, because he was the number one pick and didn't get much time to play as well as of, Luka and everyone else kind of getting a better opportunity.
Definitely. I think Aiton's starting to finally get some credit from the fans for not being a bust. I never thought he was a bust. I thought Aiton was an amazing pick, to be perfectly honest with you guys. And right now, it's really paying off. The Suns team went from going 8-0 in the bubble and still having such a bad record they couldn't make the playoffs to now look at them. Second seed, I believe. Yeah, second seed, made the
Second seed.
playoffs, and they're in the conference finals now. And
one more thing about the Suns that I'm sorry for interrupting. One more thing about the Suns that I want to highlight. Mikal Bridges has been playing phenomenal on defense, number one. Number two, Jay Crowder shows that he was a missing piece for the Heat. I know that's kind of like, well, he probably wasn't that impactful, but you saw what happened in the playoffs. Trevor Ariza cannot, form the wall well enough for Giannis, and Crowder's been just like showing why he's such a valuable journeyman, to say less.
The Heat needed more than Crowder to get out the first round, but point noted.
I know, but I mean, it would have,
No, I like understand your point, bro. Like, because they were like, okay, they could have kept Jay Crowder. Like, it wasn't like Jay Crowder was like demanding.
Yeah, because guess what? They signed Myers freaking Leonard, the guy who said a word I can't say right now. They signed him for like $15 million. They decided to keep that dude who literally didn't play over Crowder. I don't understand that logic. Like, the Heat have to have, like, Pat Riley. I know he's famous. I know that he's one of the greatest of all times. I don't care. That was stupid.
That was a terrible decision to let Crowder walk.
Imagine letting a guy who I think he hit 39% in the playoffs from three. Imagine letting that guy walk for Myers Leonard.
That's a questionable
and like
decision.
Ariza, they're like, okay, we're good. We have Trevor Ariza and Andre Iguodala, who have a combined age of like 150. Like, so.
Yeah, we have two guys who literally are better off just being high school teachers than they are anything else.
Yeah, we have two guys that probably should be in retirement homes, but they can stop Giannis.
They'll be fine.
Yeah, just throw them out there. Come on, play some defense, do something. But definitely, the Suns team has put together an amazing team, and they look like they're going to go all the way. Or, I mean, in my opinion, I think the Bucks are going to go against them. They're going to give the Bucks at least a run for their money. But for the last topic of the night, for the game going on actually right now, Hawks and Bucks. first of all, before we break this down, who you guys have winning this series? Adam, who do you have?
So I think when I first looked at the series, I kind of thought the Bucks would just dominate. But as I thought about it more and more, I think this is going to be a long series. I do think the Hawks match up fairly well with them, just in terms of like they have a lot of guys who can score and handle the basketball, which, as we saw with Brooklyn, does give Milwaukee trouble at times. So I do think it'll be competitive, but I do have the Bucks winning this series in seven. I just think they have just enough firepower to get it done. But that's kind of my big question, I guess, for this series is like, are the Bucks going to be able to generate enough offense to stick with this team? Like who? Because it can't just be Giannis and Middleton every game. Like someone else is going to have to step up. And if they do, then I think they'll be fine. And if they don't, then I think we could see the Hawks out of all teams make the finals.
I think it'd be very interesting to see the Hawks make the finals. I just don't see them getting past Giannis, especially now that they've just taken out the Brooklyn Nets, who I know they weren't 100% healthy, but Kevin Durant is still Kevin Durant. We can't
He went
fault him.
crazy.
Yeah, the man was an inch away from sending him home. So we still got to give the Bucks credit for pulling out that series. Uh, I think the Bucks pull this off in 6 games. I don't think the Hawks have enough defensive weapons that can really match up because when Trey comes out of that game, Lou Williams is not guarding a rock on the ground. They're gonna the Bucks are gonna have their way coming into the series, and I think that's just gonna be the end of it. But Jay, who do you have winning this Bucks Hawks series?
All right. So if I was a logical person, I would say the Bucks.
Oh, no.
Unfortunately, I'm insane. And look, this Hawks team has completely been under the radar for so long this season. Everyone thought that the Knicks was going to win. What happened there? Gentleman sweep. Everyone thought that the Sixers were going to win. Guess what? Win in 7. And I do think they're like Danilo Gallinari, he's not doing like he might as well just tickle Giannis and try and make him miss by that way because he's not guarding him any other way. So I think Giannis is going to dominate. I think Middleton's going to dominate. I think the one deciding factor is really Holiday. And based off the fact that Trae Young has 12 points so far in this game that we're watching now, I don't think he's going to do that good of a job, you know? So I don't know. I am crazy, so I'm going to put my money on the Hawks and say they're going to be the underdogs and they might win the series. Probably in like 7, but my one like actual logical thing about this is when the Bucks went against the Nets, there's obviously KD just doing everything. He's scored like 40 pretty much for I think 3 games. I think.
Mm-hmm.
And
he scored
the rest
49
of the team,
the last game.
yeah. Like he was going off. And I think that Trey has not like the ability to go for like 49, but he has the gravity to go for like, you know, almost 30 points most games. And the difference between the Nets and the Hawks is that the Nets don't have a supporting cast at all. Like their best bench player is Jeff Green and Bruce Brown. So this Hawks team has John Collins. This Hawks team has Clint Capella. This Hawks team has Gallinari, who has made so many clutch baskets, multiple different scorers that can, you know, actually do stuff. Besides, well, miss. Ask Joe Harris about that last one. And I know I'm crazy. I know that I'm going to get laughed at, but I really think that the Hawks might stand a better chance than people give them credit for.
All right. Well, I didn't know we had Skip Bayless on the show, but welcome, Skip. Terrible takes as usual. Messing around with you.
LeBron's gonna make the Bucks win because LeBron is a fraud.
You know that made no sense, but that is quite the Skip Bayless take right there. Oh, LeBron
Yeah,
played
thank you,
2
thank you.
minutes and he didn't drop 30 points. Fraud. Michael Jordan's better. But uh let's break it down to the two X factors. Jay, I already you say Drew Holiday and Gallinari are your X factors, correct?
Pretty much. And I think that Collins is also, man, he just like, sorry, I'm watching this game. He just bullied Holiday. Um, if Collins goes off, if he has one of those games where he just like puts Giannis in a chokehold and alley oops him, then I think they're, you know, the Hawks might pull something out like that.
I agree.
Yeah.
So Adam, who's an X factor from each team coming into this game that you think's gonna tip the tide in that team's favor?
Yeah, so I mean, as far as the Bucks go, I think Jay kind of hit on this, but Drew Holiday has to be good on both ends of the court, really. I mean, he's going to be the primary guy on Trey. I don't think anyone in the league can really like stop Trey. But I do think he can at least make him work, at least make him tired. Um, which, if he's able to do that successfully, that's great. The big X factor is, can he score? Like if Drew Holiday is gonna be, dropping, I don't know, like 15 to 20 a game, I think that's like what they need. If he's gonna be, early Nets Drew Holiday, then you have some question marks because then you're relying on guys like, Brooke Lopez and Bryn Forbes, like not guys you really want to be relying on to, beat shoulder a big load offensively. So I think Jay kind of nailed it with Drew Holiday. As far as the Hawks go, my biggest question for the Hawks is like who who can guard Giannis? Like no one, because you can't really put Capella on him because he's too slow. You kind of have to put Collins on him. And I just don't know if that's gonna go well at all.
Um, I'm just gonna interrupt you quickly to say, all that Giannis has been doing this game is literally doing that signature thing where he sizes Capella up and then runs back and then runs forward. So
The
I
Kendrick
Is
don't really.
Capella on him? Is Capella on him? Like,
Most of the time, yes, they're actually running Capella on Giannis because, well, I guess he is the best rim protector. I mean, it kind of
yeah,
makes sense
it kind of makes sense. Because
because
Giannis
I
is so
mean,
weird to guard.
I do the same thing. I just kind of treat him like Ben Simmons and say shoot it.
Yeah. I mean, we saw like last series, Blake Griffin was like under the basket. He was like pleading for him to shoot. I'm interested to see though if Giannis like how many threes he attempts this series. I know Giannis is the type of guy that I feel like if you tell him not to shoot threes, he will actually stop or at least like tone it down a little bit. But I am interested to see kind of if he takes what the defense gives him, which I don't think he should do necessarily, but that's just kind of something to watch. But yeah, no, I mean, Clint Capella, I do think, like you said, that's kind of smart because at least he can protect the rim. If I'm honest, though, I'm just trying to go by him every single time, like get him out of the paint if it by any means necessary and get that mismatch. But yeah,
Or, I mean, you just go right at him. You're going to get a ton of fouls out of that, put him in foul trouble, and then they're going to have to put somebody else, and the Hawks have nobody else that can protect the rim.
exactly. That's a great point, actually, because then God, do you
The
guys
thing,
even know the Hawks backup center? I can't even think of it off the top.
their backup center, I believe. Man, I mean, most of the time they don't
That
even use
says
like.
something.
Yeah. So that's a strategy right there. I mean, attack him, make him
Honestly,
go small.
I think like whenever uh like Clint's in foul trouble, they normally just put Gallinari at center. That's what they did during the Philly series, so they could like space the floor a little bit better.
Well, that's not going to work with Giannis, but if I'm looking at right here, their backup center is going to be Solomon Hill.
Oh,
Oh yeah,
Jesus.
him too.
Yeah,
Hey,
that's
he can
not.
injure Giannis. Snatch his ankles from him.
Look, we don't speak of him in front of a Lakers fan because he's
Oh,
dirty for
and
injuring LeBron.
and Okongwu. Okongwu actually he played
Oh,
Okongwu
right.
What
as
did
a
they do?
rookie.
How did I
He did
forget
it.
Okongwu?
dude, he's been very forgettable, mainly because he just hasn't been getting minutes. Like in the minutes that I've seen him play, he's actually so good. Um, I mean, obviously he was trying his best against Embiid. It's just Embiid. So
Yeah,
you
no one's
can't
gonna
do
stop
anything
Embiid.
against a guy who can like literally do everything. But yeah. But Okongwu has been playing very meaningful basketball in the playoffs, which is weird because they barely gave him a start during the regular season, but now they're playing him in the playoffs. So I guess that makes sense.
I like him a lot. I still have my doubts against him going up against somebody like Giannis. I don't think he's
Oh yeah, definitely
experienced
not.
enough to take that matchup on.
One of the things I was going to say is that Capella is actually a very good vertical defender. Um, like
Yeah.
in the sense of if you remember Roy Hibbert,
Mhm.
he
Do
was
I remember
basic.
Roy Hibbert? Of course I do.
Yeah, yeah. Okay, I was just making sure. I don't know, but yeah, for people who are new to basketball, this man literally got paid just to jump and not bend his back at all. That's what he got paid for. He could not score. He could not do anything else, but he jumped
And then
and he
2K gave him
jumped.
like an 88 overall card sometime on my team for
Yeah, the
whatever
crazy
reason.
part about Roy Hibbert too is like he was decent, and then like right when the NBA started to like change, like overnight he was just like trash. Like you couldn't play
Mhm.
him. It
He
was
went
crazy.
from somebody that you could play solid 30 minutes a night and be comfortable with it to somebody you don't dare let see him touch the court.
Yep. I mean, Terrence Mann would drop like 70 on him.
Uh, sadly true. Don't like complimenting Clippers players, but true.
But
Hey,
yeah,
shout out to
Clint
Terrence
Capella,
Mann.
Clint Capella is very good at playing vertical, and he's slow, but he's like for his size, he's faster than he appears.
He's
I
slow,
don't know
but
if
he
that.
gets in the air fast as hell. I've never
Like
seen
that man
somebody
can
jump so fast.
He's a great shot
like
blocker.
I don't know how he does it, but he just like goes from 0 to 100 in like 5 seconds, or
And
not
he can
five
have
seconds, like
those
0.5
sprints
seconds.
every now and then where he blows past the center. He's not like he normally plays the court very slow, but every now and then we saw a lot with him and Harden playing together. He'd sprint right to the basket, get an alley oop, and it was out of this world. You like is that Clint Capella? How do you do that? I think Clint Capella is going to be the X factor for the Hawks this series. Speaking of which, the Hawks have just taken the lead, so that's very interesting right there.
Oh, interesting. Yeah. Yo, one thing randomly to run by you guys. I want to see what you guys think about this. I had wrote it down. So I've heard a lot of people be like, oh, Trae Young is the next Steph Curry, basically. But honestly, watching him, he reminds me of like weirdly James Harden. Like I know he's like he's obviously he's like a mini James Harden. Like
Yeah.
because he
I can
doesn't,
see I can see the resemblance. He draws fouls, he shoots
right?
threes, and he takes floaters,
I
which
think
is
Yeah,
he's a
he's
mix
like
between
literally
the two.
he's such a good
Harden's.
playmaker. Like that's the thing that
Mhm.
jumps out to me. And Harden is too. Like they're both maybe it's just because Capella, like they're both throwing like 10 lobs a game to
I mean,
Capella, but like
Harden literally like I'm pretty sure he kind of started that trend, not like the back foul thing, but he would
The
blow by
drawing
his
fouls.
defender. He would
yeah.
blow by his defender and then like kind of back him off and then either shoot a floater or give it to whoever. So I think hard like that's such a good move. Um and I'm pretty sure it started with Harden. I'm not gonna lie, but I think in I
Actually
forgot.
started with
It was
Soldier
either
Boy.
Trey Young or Harden who did it first.
I think it was
But
It
hard.
was
oh
actually
yeah,
Soldier Boy.
Soldier Boy.
It was
Soldier Boy did it
Bro, how
first.
dare we? How dare we?
There's photo proof of Soldier Boy doing it in 1676. Photo proof of it. It
Bro, I
happened.
saw a photo the other day of Soldier Boy founding the United States. Everything, bro.
What was that?
I
Bro, you
saw
just
it,
sound like
dude.
you
Oh,
spoke
sorry.
into a
I saw a picture
microwave.
of this man founding America the other day. Look at me. This dude's
Is
done
my toast ready
everything.
yet?
No, yeah, no. Stepping away from Soldier Boy for a second, though. In my opinion, Trae Young's Steph Curry's body, his attribute, his speed, and all that, but James Harden's skill set, if that makes sense. I think he's a
Yeah,
mix of the two players, and he's turned into somebody really entertaining to watch.
I forgot to name
absolutely.
this. Ginger Boy. K
Kevin Herter,
Vaughn.
Kayvon.
Uh-huh. K Vaughn. One, he killed the Sixers in a game that Trae Young just played miserably. He went 5 of 23. Simmons, as much as I hate to say it, locked him up. And it was just sad. And Kevin Herter just took all that and scored, I think, 27 points.
Yeah, I think it was
Yeah.
27.
And he can be an X factor because not only is he like a shooter, but he's not bad on defense either. Because he's like 6'7", and he knows how to like block shots at points. Like if he gets to a like good position, he can actually be like a decent wing shot blocker, which helps a lot because he is 6'8" and plays shooting guard and small forward.
Mm-hmm. I will definitely
So
agree
he
about
can be an
Simmons.
X factor.
Simmons did kind of lock his ass up, though.
Mm.
But in all seriousness, I think we've covered
Trae
about
Young has 20 in 17 minutes.
that is Trae Young. Trae Young
That
is
is
undoubtedly
ridiculous.
he's going to be a top 5 scorer in this league one day soon, and we're going to be here to witness that. But another thing, real quick, I want to give a last shout out, both you guys tuning into the podcast, stepping up, and just reminding everybody our website is out now. If you like this video, please consider subscribing. And I want to thank you two guys again. Again, follow Adam on Instagram at Basket Rap. Adam, thank you for coming on, man.
Hey, appreciate it, you guys. Also, just to plug something else real quick, we do have a website as well, basketrap.com, if you're interested in pretty similar content to the Instagram, but we have new articles every Saturday. So if you want more content, you can check that out as well.
Definitely tune into that. If you like their Instagram stuff, like you said, it's more in depth over there. And I think you guys will really like it. If you like basketball and you like the rap industry. And again, another thanks, Jay, thanks for stepping up and coming on, man, as usual. That's Jay signing out. But this is Max signing out from Mama's Legacy. Again, thank you guys for tuning in and take care.